Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to offer dana, then please do go to justthiszen.org/giving. Your support really does make a huge difference. Thank you so much.
So welcome everybody. It's good to be with you again and back in this seat. I feel I've been away for a long time and I'm still wondering where I've been, wondering how it will feel today. And it brings to mind when I was young, if I was unwell and went back to school, every experience seems heightened and a little unfamiliar. Do you know that feeling? So I have two quotes which kind of resonate with what I want to explore with you today. And the first one is from Hans Christian Andersen, and he said, "The whole world is a series of miracles, but we're so used to them, we call them ordinary things." And Maya Angelou said, "This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." And part of what I want to explore today with you is the journey between contraction and expansion, from self-concern to feeling part of everything, perhaps even being everything. And I wonder, is this the play between small mind and big mind? Suzuki Roshi, yourself, you will have grandmother-like mind. You will always say to yourself things like, "Don't eat too much," because you will always be trying to take care of yourself. When you become angry, you may say, "Oh, don't be angry so much." I wonder what your relationship is like with kind, spacious, grandmother-like mind. What would you say to yourself at this time in your life in a grandmother-like way? Today, for me, it's something like, just enjoy sharing and being with these lovely people. It'll be fine. So, just before we went away for our holiday in late June, our beloved cat Jasper was diagnosed with an inoperable tumour. And you may have seen him during inquiry from time to time, walking along the back of the sofa, and heard his resonant purr. He was with us actually from the start of Just This in 2011, and he listened to many, many Dharma talks. Does a cat have Buddha nature? The vet said, "He will die when you are away on holiday, so take him home and love him tonight and bring him back tomorrow afternoon for his final long sleep." So, how to talk to our beloved dying Sangha cat with grandmotherly mind. So, cradling him gently, I thanked him for the beauty and joy and fun he had brought to us. I talked to him about how in 2011 we'd actually gone to buy his sister. He was the last of the litter, and he kept playing with us and jumping on our shoelaces. He was saying, "Please take me too." So I talked to him about how Suzuki Roshi said, "We're like a great flashing in the darkness, and then we return to the darkness." And I talked about how we appear in this world for a time And then we return to the great mystery, how he was going to return to the great mystery tomorrow. And I reminded him that Suzuki Roshi said, "You are one with everything. Wherever you are one with the clouds and the sun and the stars that you see. That is more true than I can say, and more true than you can hear." And I was reminded of a beautiful talk by Marsha Angus at San Francisco Zen Center a few years ago. And she was talking about how she was visiting a prisoner, and there was something about her relationship with this prisoner that she was really warmly curious about. And she realized that it was something about she was adopted as a baby, and as far as she was aware, nobody spoke to her as the baby about what was happening to her. Nobody communicated this to her in kind, grandmotherly-like words. And she talked about the importance of actually honoring beings with our kind words. And she went on to say about if you're going to have a medical procedure, if the surgeon says, actually, this is really going to hurt, but I'm going to take some care with you, it makes such a difference to your experience. Suzuki Roshi said in his new book, "To find true joy under some limitation is the way to realize the whole universe. To find true joy under some limitation is the way to find true joy in the whole universe." And I would extend that to suggest to find true joy under some difficulty or challenge is the way to realize the whole universe. So Trudy and I went on holiday to Devon in late June, to a beautiful little place by the sea, and after 3 days there, I got an uncontrollable nosebleed, which just wouldn't stop. So Trudy and I had 2 visits to accident and emergency in Plymouth, and after 8 hours during the second visit, my bleeding had stopped. And at 3 a.m., somebody said, "Just get on this trolley and we're going to take you to a ward." Can you imagine the relief? The lights and the tension and the activity in A&E is quite intense. And so I was wheeled through the quiet of this hospital at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I can hear the sound of the wheels, and I went into a lift, and then I was taken somewhere else. Totally helpless, but cared for. And then I got to this ward. It's very dim lights, and a nurse said, "Welcome, I'm going to look after you." And after that, there were the night sounds of the ward, and the nurses kind of moving quietly around doing things, and it was a completely different kind of soundscape to the frenetic activity in accident and emergency. And what I realized is the story, the narrative had changed from a holiday by the sea to being in hospital totally unexpectedly. I'd never had a nosebleed before. And so rather than watching and feeling the ebb and flow of the sea, when I was not in intense pain, I started to appreciate the ebb and flow of the ward and the activity of the ward. When Nanyu Echu, a 7th century Zen teacher, was dying, his students wanted to make him a vast tombstone. But Nanyu Echo said, "Any stone will be good enough. Even a small stone is good enough for me." And Suzuki Roshi comments on this. He said, "If you know what a small stone is, you know that it is you yourself and that it covers everything. But if you think you need to see the entire universe in order to see yourself, you will be lost. If you know you're a small stone, you can see the entire universe." He says you need one small room for yourself. This is very true. When you can really find yourself in a small room, then there is you yourself, and the whole universe is there, and the whole universe makes sense to you. I think that perhaps there are different resonances and interpretations of Suzuki Roshi's one small room. What is the resonance for you of this one small room? What is your one small room? So I found myself in a small room, not on holiday, but on holiday, which happens to be a hospital ward, and the whole universe is there. 2 weeks ago, Trudy shared that connection is what we are, and separation is what we do. And last week, Flint talked about moving with the life that is pulsing around you. Again, the journey between contraction and expansion, from self-concern to feeling part of everything, perhaps being everything. I wonder, is this the play between small and big mind? So I was moving constantly between contraction, separation, and self-concern, particularly when I was in pain, to a spacious awareness and appreciation of the activity in the ward. In both hospitals, my bed was close to the nurses' station, so I was able to witness and be part of this flowing drama of kindness and pain, care and despair. The transition from the day shift to the night shift, which involved a detailed briefing for the night shift, and then the same in the morning when the day shift arrived. The whole play was there in front of me, and what I most was aware of was the exquisite care that the nurses and doctors offered each patient unreservedly. And there was something very touching about having moved from a holiday situation, it's not what I expected, to something which was, in its way, very beautiful when I wasn't in extreme pain. Because when I had the nosebleeds, of course, my need for survival was paramount, and I just wanted them to stop. So I wasn't feeling the big picture. I wasn't feeling part of everything in that way. And that's okay. But then there's a moment when something can expand and you can appreciate something that's actually very beautiful. I was given for my birthday by a dear friend last week this wonderful book. It's called Everyday Wonder. And it's divided into sections. And I'm going to read you just 3 poems from it. And the sections are home, street, land, and body. and each chapter encourages you to engage with whatever you are meeting in a spacious and expansive way. So the first poem is from Land, and it's by Mary Oliver. It's called Praying. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot, or a few small stones. Just pay attention. Then patch a few words together, and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks, and a silence in which another voice may speak. And this one's from Street. It's by Naomi Shihab Nye. It's called Shoulders. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him, no car drive too near to his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say, fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in the world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. And finally, a poem which I think speaks to this one room that Suzuki Roshi talks about. It's called You Reading This, Be Ready by William Stafford. Starting here, what do you want to remember? How sunlight creeps along a shining floor, what scent of old wood hovers, what softened sound from outside fills the air. Will you ever bring a better gift for the world than the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go right now? Are you waiting for time to show you some better thoughts? When you turn around, starting here, lift this new glimpse that you found. Carry into evening all that you want from this day. The interval you spent reading or hearing this, keep it for life. What can anyone give you greater than now? Starting here, right in this room, when you turn around. So if you have any thoughts, inquiries about your own process of moving from contraction to expansion, to appreciating the world, to self-concern, your one room, how you manage sudden change, how you change the narrative, and how you can, in some way, practice with it in a way that supports your life. So thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting you. Hello, Catherine.
I've got a question. I couldn't resist the temptation to meet with you, Josh. And plus, I'm so pleased to see you and touched by how the manner in which you described the different environments and moving between the different environments. It's something I've been thinking of, feeling my way forward with a lot. So what you said is on the money for me.
thought it might be. Uh,
How that transition and how it happens, it's very hard to pin down how it happens. I think it's impossible. You can't have a rule of if I do this, it will happen.
yeah.
It's when something, and I don't even think it's me exactly, lets the world in,
Mm.
lets something else in, or something else comes in and is allowed. And then, and the difference.
Yeah. Well, it feels like they're kind of entryways that happen almost by grace.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so.
Something beautiful happens in the most inauspicious places. Um, and we've been texting, we've been in communication, and I feel like, you've really encouraged me in recent weeks. Um, and I have a sense that we're recycling encouragement with each other.
Yes.
So I get a text from you and something touches my heart and makes um, something possible. Um,
Going back to days of Christian belief, which I'm revisiting through Richard Rohr's daily meditations,
mm,
becoming more open and less prejudiced.
mm,
I remember someone once saying to me that God has a secret pathway, a secret back door into every heart.
mm.
So I think grace is a good word, as you've just said. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you sent me a quote of his in one of your texts, which I really liked. Um,
Was it God? Uh, God comes to us disguised as our lives.
yes, that's the one. I like I like that. Yeah.
I love it. It needs a bit of translation maybe, but that's fine, isn't it?
Mm.
Or does it?
I
Or
don't know.
does it?
I don't know that it does actually, because it resonated with me straight away. Um, you know, so there was something very immediate about it. Um, yeah.
It did with me too.
Thank you so much. Hi, Cassie.
No, no.
Yeah.
It hasn't quite gotten used to being short yet, so
Yeah. Wow. It's great.
um, it was a bit shorter than I anticipated it being, but I'm fine. Actually,
Well,
I'm adjusting.
it sounds like you're a little unsure of it or something.
It's just super new.
Yeah. Well, it's on top of your lovely face.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely being. It's just great to see you.
Thank you. I relish the opportunity to get to speak with you. Um, but this expansion and contraction thing that you were just talking about. And so it occurred to me from some things that happened this last weekend that I wondered if my system like looks for the homeostasis medium part of what I call normal. Like I experience something quite expansive, And then afterwards, I seemed to have like a recoil of contraction, you know, kind of back and forth in there. And one of our dear Sangha members had a very formal, old traditional priest ordination at the Austin Zen Center with I don't know, the solid traditional ways, the real, you know, the and I was there for before the Zen Center existed and when it came into being and all of that. And I had not been in one of these priest ordination ceremonies since Flint's.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like time traveling. Like I was experiencing both things because it was the same words, it was the same movements. And I was thinking about that throughout the thousands of years of how that ceremony is communicated in us. And as I was sitting there in the Zendo, my mind starts doing an inquiry, you know.
Yeah.
And I say, I said, you know, what is the most embarrassing thing that could possibly happen to me right now? And I imagine that. And then the backward step question was, would that be accepted here? You know, would that, you know, could that happen and everything still be okay?
Yeah.
You know, all the places that I carry my shame and all of that or every single article of that accepted right here, right now in this room. And I got a really immediate, solid, deep yes.
Great.
And whoa, wonderful. And then I met a woman who changed my life a long time ago. And I was in a bad work situation. And then I had come to her to help her out with some photography things. And she was like, "What is this on you?" And I said what it was. And she said, "What would it take for you to not go back to that job tomorrow?" And I was like, "Well, you know, I've got bills, you know, that's not one of the possibilities." And she said, "I can write you a check for a year's salary while we're sitting here at the kitchen table. Could you take that and not go back to that job?"
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, no. I said, "That's too big. That's too much. Let's sit on it." And after about a week of just kind of being still with it, I came back and was like, "That's too much." And she said, "Well, I have this much money that I can give that would go away in taxes." So I donated every year. So it's absolutely nothing from me. It's something that either gets donated or goes into taxes. I've already written that check and it's right here. Will you take it? And I said, yes. And I left that job and started being the teacher at Laguna Gloria and all the places that you know. So I see her and I am erupting with joy. And she meets me with the same volcano of light and happiness. And it was an extraordinary moment. And then the line of teachers that were there for this ordination for the young priest, all want to talk to her. So they're all coming up to talk to her. And one by one, she introduces me as Flint's student.
Great.
And and it was a wonderful, light, airy moment. And ever since then, I have been so self-conscious. I have taken all of that and flipped it. Like every expansiveness and lovely, wonderful light experience that was, I've now come back and tried to counterbalance it.
Okay. So it sounds really like it was really beautiful and now it's really painful and
Yeah, but I'm the one that made it painful. Like, like it's like, oh, let's put a pin in that balloon.
so I'm kind of curious from, from my talk is like, how do you talk with yourself about it? What do you say? And is there a kind of
I,
kind,
I
is there a kind place? Is there a kind
yeah,
grandmotherly?
yeah, there is a kind place because I have like the distinction of what happened versus the distinction of how I'm trying to frame it afterwards. Like
Mm,
that actually wasn't what that moment was. So I'm telling myself, that there is an awareness of the second arrow, I guess is what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah,
That I see that this part is a fabrication.
yeah. And is that a deeply felt feeling or is it an idea?
I guess it bounces.
Mm, mm,
Sometimes it's a deeply felt idea that I turn back to rest and experience and remember the experience as
mm,
I think it was,
mm.
not like my representation of it. Um, and I saw one of those internet jokes that was uh, coming out of the therapist's office, and then you start putting everything back the way you had it before. Like it
Yes.
gets opened up, and then you got to put everything back the way it was before. And I I don't think that that's a necessary activity.
No, no, it's not. It's not. And it's something like you're very aware of what you do.
Mhm.
You know what you do.
Mm,
Um, and um, that's a great thing. You know what you're doing. You know the second arrow.
yeah,
Um, so how to
not put it in the bow.
not put it in the bow or have a third one
Yeah.
or a fourth one.
The
Um,
entire quiver, yeah.
and so there's something, and just thinking about the kindness towards the second arrow. It's like, oh, this is what I do. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Where's the is there a kind of softness somewhere around what a grandmotherly like person would say? It's like,
Right. Remember when you were free to be embarrassed just like a minute ago? But see,
yeah,
that still has judgment in it. Like there's still,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So so you know what you do. You know what triggers you, what embarrasses you. How do you take care of it?
yeah,
How do you like somebody recently talked about I forget who it was. I'm actually kind of holding, actually holding your what you do like a cat, How do you take care of that? What you do?
yeah. And
Um,
not just identify it and tell it to change.
yeah, because it'll just get harder and stronger.
Right.
Um, there's I think his name's I can't pronounce it right, Gujo, and in one of his pieces I was reading, he said, where you're caught, you're actually most free. And I've been thinking about that. I'm not saying it as I'm just saying it as a practice. I'm really curious about where you're caught, you're most free. It's from the gateless gate. So maybe we can explore that together because I'm really curious about where I'm caught
Yeah.
and where I could be most free.
I look forward to all of those experiences with you.
Yeah, the gift of being caught. Oh yeah, okay, I've got something.
Mm.
Where can I be free where I'm caught?
Okay, I'm gonna write down the gift of being caught.
Yeah. I'll find the piece for you,
Okay.
uh, and I'll send you the quote because it really struck me. So let's continue to explore where we're caught.
Yeah. Yeah. And thanks for listening to my story.
Love listening to your story. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Hello, Jan.
Hi. Am I on mute? Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I arrived with constriction,
Hmm.
self-concern, um, sense of disconnection, separation. And I'm really struck by how that has shifted in listening to your words. The tenderness, as you described your experience in hospital, the exquisite care that you described. They are the miracles, the ordinary miracles of life, is that exquisite care. I was touched by your exquisite care of Jasper.
Yeah. Hmm. You know him well, don't you?
I do know him well. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the way in which it was explained to you. You explained to him what that teacher you talked about when she went to see the prisoner, and it had not been explained what was going to happen to them. You don't know that Jasper can understand, but there's something beautiful about taking the time in that grandfatherly way.
It feels like do it anyway.
Do it anyway, because it's like an expression of you prizing. It's the exquisite care. Do it anyway, because actually it's like it fills our heart to express it.
Yeah. And in a way, I'm also just talking to myself.
Yes.
You know, this is
Yeah.
what I would want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to share it with another being
Mm.
who I have enormous respect for.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the mystery, just the mystery
Yeah.
of life and death.
Mm. Mm.
That's take him home and love him. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was so tender, what the vet said.
Mm. Yeah.
And there was something else that really touched me when you said if a clinician says to you, this is going to hurt,
Mm.
but I'm going to take really good care.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something really touching.
It makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It,
I had
yes,
a few
absolutely. Yeah,
procedures recently,
yeah,
and for the most
yeah.
part, it makes to hear that care.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um, makes a difference, a big difference.
Yeah. There's a sort of a sense of trust
Mm. Mm. Mm.
that this person's going to do the best for me.
Yeah. And being a human being, some things are really going to be quite painful.
Mm, mm,
They're doing their best. And they're,
mm,
what I noticed, from the sounds in the ward and everything,
mm,
they are meeting pain, other people's pain all the time,
mm. Yeah,
and other people's reactions. And
yeah.
um,
Hmm.
it's really touching to
Mm,
experience the care that they took
yeah,
for
yeah.
the procedure, because you can kind of hear it through the curtains.
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I
It's
think
like they're like bodhisattvas,
they are.
they're working with so many people's suffering.
Yes. Yeah. It was a,
Their vow is to end as
yeah.
much suffering as they can.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm,
I kind of love it, how sometimes we come to a talk and something shifts or settles.
mm, mhm.
Appreciate that you
Yeah.
with some agitation and some,
Mm, mm,
kind of not quite uh, feeling at ease, and
mm, mhm,
something is just
mhm.
possible sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel connected,
mm,
expansive. Um, and I've got this idea of like a card that I might even write actually with two sides, and it's like how this card can flip. I can be in contraction and disconnection, and then actually the card can just flip
yeah.
and it and move into that expansion and connection. And it feels like it's really helped me
Mm,
to really notice tonight what's the thing that flips it.
yeah.
The grandfatherly mind. I thought to myself when you asked that question, what would you say to yourself
Mm, mm.
about the difficult thoughts that I was having?
And that's lovely to hear. There's like would be a way for you, to
Mm, mm,
that it flips, and
mm,
and it does, doesn't it, for us? It
yeah.
sometimes we're really contracted, even if we're not in physical pain. There's
Mm,
some
mm,
contraction, and there's always a gateway somewhere.
yeah.
Always a
Yeah.
gateway somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
So thank you. I'm going to hold that those ideas, and that maybe grandmotherly mind is a way that change
yeah.
can flip in me.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm,
How can we cultivate
mm,
a kind voice?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I might even think, what would Josh say?
oh,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Jan. That's a beautiful way to end our meeting.
yeah. Thank you, Josh.
So, will you join with me in saying the 4 practice principles, please? Caught in the self-centered dream, only suffering, holding to self-centered thoughts, exactly the dream. Each moment, life as it is, the only teacher, being just this moment, compassion's way. Caught in the self-centered dream, only suffering, holding to self-centered thoughts, exactly the dream. Each moment, life as it is, the only teacher, being just this moment, compassion's way. Caught in the self-centered dream, only suffering, holding to self-centered thoughts exactly the dream. Each moment, life as it is, the only teacher, being just this moment, compassion's way. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today and for supporting our community, and I wish you many kindnesses and kind words in the coming weeks. Thank you, and thank you, Jessica, for holding the space so generously for us today.